Hey, good morning. How are you today? Coffee Conversations with Greg J on and poppin' Tuesday, the 8th of December, 9 o'clock Pacific time. Wow, here we are. A lot going on in this COVID world. We are just checking in with you. Y'all all right? Everything good? What's happening? Check in with us. Fascinating, compelling, culturally relevant conversation today. You know how we do it. We just want to continue the dialogue, continue the conversation, keeps our brains working, keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening in our communities, not only here in Long Beach, where we originate, not only in the greater region of Los Angeles, Compton, Watts, Inglewood, that's where we are, Southern California, but across the entire nation, hoods everywhere, but not only the entire nation, the entire globe. This is what we're doing. Coffee Conversations with Greg J. Let's get right to the headlines. The UK is the first Western country to start a mass vaccination program after British regulators last week authorized the use of a COVID-19 shot developed by the US drug maker Pfizer and Germany's BioNTech. US and European Union regulators may approve the vaccine in the coming days or weeks, fueling a global immunization effort. Today, they already gave the first shots to someone over there in Great Britain. And so it begins. President Donald Trump's administration is facing new scrutiny on Tuesday after failing to lock in a chance to buy millions of additional doses of Pfizer's coronavirus vaccine, which has shown to be highly effective against COVID-19. That decision could delay the delivery of a second batch of doses until Pfizer fulfills other international contracts. The revelation comes as Trump's plans to host a White House summit aimed at celebrating the expected approval of the first vaccine later this week. His administration is seeking to tamp down public skepticism over the vaccine and secure a key component of the Republican president's legacy. President-elect Joe Biden will nominate retired four-star Army General Lloyd J. Austin to be the Secretary of Defense, according to four people familiar with the decision. It's confirmed by the Senate Austin would be the first Black leader of the Pentagon. Biden selected Austin over longtime frontrunner candidate Michelle Flournoy, a former senior Pentagon official and Biden supporter who would have been the first woman to serve as defense secretary. As a career military officer, the 67-year-old Austin is likely to face opposition from some in Congress and in the defense establishment. They believe that drawing a clear line between civilian and military leadership in the Pentagon is essential. Although many previous defense secretaries have served briefly in the military, only two, George C. Marshall, what was that, back in the 40s, and James Mattis, have been career officers. Marshall also served as Secretary of State. Like Mattis, Austin would need to obtain a congressional waiver to serve as defense secretary. Congress intended civilian control of the military when it created the position of Secretary of Defense in 1947 and prohibited a recently retired military officer from holding the position. Meanwhile, down in Georgia, 3 strikes, you're out, buddy. Georgia's top elections officials on Monday recertified the state's election results after a recount requested by President Donald Trump confirmed once again that Democrat Joe Biden won the state, and the governor then recertified the state's 16 presidential electors. We have now counted legally cast ballots 3 times, and the results remain unchanged, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger said during a news conference at the state capitol before the results were recertified. Meanwhile, here in California, according to the California Black Media Network, Black women leaders have a recommendation for Dianne Feinstein, California's senior U.S. senator. Consider giving up your own seat so that California Secretary of State Alex Padilla can fill it. Their call is to appoint a Black woman with political experience and a track record of success, someone who will be ready on day one to serve. News broke last week that Feinstein, who has represented California in the upper house of the U.S. Congress for 28 years now, reached out to Governor Gavin Newsom. She called to let him know that she supports Alex Padilla, who is Latino, as Senator Kamala Harris's replacement in the U.S. Senate. Black leaders campaigning for the governor to replace Harris with an African-American woman responded promptly. The good senator herself has been sitting in that seat for a long time. She's served our state well, very honorably. Maybe she should consider resigning, which would make room for Secretary Padilla to carry on her legacy, said Amelia Ashley Ward. She's the publisher of the San Francisco Sun-Reporter, the oldest Black newspaper in the Golden Gate City. Ward said that once Harris is inaugurated vice president of the United States in January, the United States Senate would lose its only African-American woman. This is an advocacy that's growing. It's getting some steam. I'm getting all these letters and petitions and all of this that's going on. So on Thursday, we're going to have some people leading the way on that point of advocacy to talk about them. They want to make sure that California replaces the seat vacated by Vice President-elect Kamala Harris with a Black woman. So we'll see. We're going to investigate that issue on this Thursday. But let's change the lanes over to what we're going to talk about today. Just fascinating conversation. You know, we go around the world and we meet so many people that are doing things, so many people that contribute greatly to our culture, to inspire, inform, uplift our people, not only here locally where we originate, but across the globe. This is what we like to do, is introduce you to our new friends that we meet. They always have great conversation. I just recently met this brother here who's joining us to sip coffee conversations with gregj. Just met him. And man, what an incredible story. So we have a lot to talk about, a wide menu, but I want to just share with you as I was kind of, researching and finding a direction for our conversation today. I found this article, right? And it's called On His Own in America. My brother is from Senegal originally, has grown here in the United States to do some big things, which I'm sure we're going to talk about here. He's got a couple of cultural messages and encouragements for us this morning. This is why we have him on. And, look, good morning, Brother Amadou Lee. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Hey, COVID environment. How you doing? How's the family? Everybody good?
Listen, alhamdulillah, everybody is good. Mother is fine. Family's getting ready to go to Senegal. So everybody's good. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so listen, I'm just going to read I read your article, I guess a while ago. You posted an article about your beginnings here in the United States. I found it very fascinating, and I wanted to point that out because, a lot of times when we talk about it, this is not a conversation about immigration per se. I just want to kind of take this opportunity to point out that when we have these strenuous conversations in our nation about immigration, we don't really talk about our brothers and sisters from Africa and how their stories and how they got here and what they've had to overcome, and certainly, the challenges that are faced by our brothers and sisters from the continent. So when I saw your article, I was like, really, Wow, this is really fascinating. So, this says here when you were 13 years old, you came to the United States from Senegal with your mom on a visitor's visa. And you take it from there.
Correct.
Just tell us a story.
Well, so I was born in Senegal and then came to the U.S. on September 10th, 2001, with my mom. And the next day, September 11th, the collapse of the buildings, the World Trade Center. And then from there, everything sort of went south. My mother, who had a business in New York, unfortunately started dealing with hardships. So then she sent me to live with her friend in Indianapolis. And I was able to stay at her friend's for 6 months. And it didn't work out, and I was homeless. So then I went back to New York, and started living by myself. So that's how that journey started. And then at 16, I caught a deportation case, which lasted for 2 years. And at 18, while in high school, I participated in this robotic competition that changed my life.
A robotic competition. So you make robots.
I was part of a group high school team, and we were able to. It's a very interesting story because I lived in Harlem, and we were underrated, and we were competing with the top schools, and we
Yeah.
were the only black kids over there, so it was pretty fun, and it was a massive surprise winning the New York City Regional Championship.
Wow, congratulations. Now, let me just what kind of robot did you build? what did what
It
did
was
the
like a quarter of a.
what did the hood come up with? I
So
love
the
it.
competition. We came in there swinging. We came in there swinging. And the competition is called FIRST, which is an acronym, and is for Inspiration and Recognition for Science and Technology. And pretty much we had 7 weeks, and our robots. The goal was it must be able to shoot, to throw balls in the basket, and also it must be able to defend itself against other predators, adversary, other robots, pretty much. So it was very fun to have that experience because I could see such experience actually being applied to robots that are going to Mars, being able to do specific things. So it was really fun.
Wow, awesome. Now, fast forward, you're a grown man. Tell the people what you do.
Well, so I'm an actor. I'm an activist. I'm a writer. I think that covers it. And there's a lot of things. There's a lot of hat I wear from day to day, but yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know what? It's a fascinating story there, and congratulations on all of your success. And we want to talk about your trip to Senegal. But we're going to get into that a little later. But I just want to engage you today, Amadou, on a conversation about, culture. And now that your story is incredible here, and we just want to begin asking. So, you're an actor. You've got some roles on there. We've seen you on TV and all kinds of stuff there. What is your assessment of the industry right now, particularly for Black actors?
I feel like for Black actors, it's opening up a little bit. However, what's taking longer is for us to create our own content. You know what I'm saying? That's what's taking longer. It's almost like you can do this. It's almost like when they open the door for you, there is a limit of what type of content you can do. For example, like Nate Parker, he just dropped American Skin, which came out 2 days ago, the trailer. And in that specific film, it's a cop who killed his son, and now he's seeking revenge. That's a very unusual content for Hollywood to support such thing. And usually, when they support it, they'll try to see how they can take you down in the meantime. So I feel like what needs to happen in Hollywood is for the gatekeeper or whoever they are to let us tell our content just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? That way we can empower our people. I feel like it shouldn't be something where, hey, listen, we'll open the door to this extent, but listen, you can't, you know what I'm saying? There's certain things you can't do because that doesn't apply to white actors or, anyone else. So I feel like it's this freedom that we need to work on more.
It's interesting because so you're saying when we have the stories and you plug into the system, they change it up to make it more palatable for them, or they're making the decisions on
pretty
how.
Much. Pretty much. It's almost like, and at the same time too, what I'm also seeing in a lot of different studios is that they need to open it up right now, they have an amazing thing where they have a lot of programs for our sisters, which is amazing. They deserve this, right? And the LGBTQ community. But what I am not seeing is programs that are also designed for everybody, including Black males as well. That's why if you look at the industry right now, the shows, I can name you all the top shows. And again, this is amazing. We love this. These are our sisters. But I feel like it needs to be everybody needs to get to the promised land.
Wow, that's an interesting perspective. Now, what about so there's what's the name of the movie that's on that David E. Talbert did that's on Netflix now, the Christmas movie, very wholesome, very super producer Rhonda, what's the name of that movie?
Oh, Grisha Webb.
What's it about?
Grisha Webb.
The one with the David E. Talbot that we just watched.
I don't know what it's about.
Christmas. Anyway, the film is, we have a conversation. The one with Felicia Rashad is in it. Oh God, I can't remember the name of it. Jingle. Anyway, come on, somebody out there help me out with the name of this. Jingle Jangle. Jingle Jangle. Yeah, Jingle Jangle. So that would, it's on Netflix and everything, and we really, really enjoy it because, it's interesting to note we got the crime movie on lock, right? And so it's often rare that you see the films made for us by us for that are family oriented and all that, and I think if we circle back to as hard as Ice Cube is, I mean, he was doing pretty well with, at the box office with this family oriented, filmmaking and all that. But what do you say about the lack of, if you were, or the shortage of, family oriented, wholesome stories from a Black perspective? Why is that not embraced as much as the crime movie? Now, I like a good crime movie, so I'm not dissing them. I'm just asking a question.
It's on purpose. Everything, look, nothing happened by accident in Hollywood. So the thing is, if you have show, was Black. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Yeah, we had a little bit of a dropout.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. So this was a family that. So what I'm saying is, I again, it's the point that I'm making. They will let you in as long as you can abide by some type of rules. Now, those type of family TV shows, they inspire the Black people, and some people who haven't been fortunate enough to see what that is like. You know what I mean? So, and there is a huge hunger. Like if it's something that is healthy, you have to fight harder just to get it out. You know, we have those contents. There's a lot of writers that are trying to get in who, you know, who wants to tell their story, their family story. Again, it's just, you know, it's some water you got to navigate to.
Now, with this new pandemic, and the pandemic has caused a lot of global earth shaking changes in the. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Earth-shaking changes in the industry. You just had the news of the Warner Media releasing their entire slate of 2021, through HBO Max and streaming services and all that, at the same time of doing the theaters, if the theaters are ever going to come back. What do you think about that blockbuster announcement? And also, do you think that creates more opportunities for Black creators? Are you there?
I do, because with television, they're gonna need a diverse of directors.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay, so I do believe that it's gonna create. I do believe that it's gonna create a diverse, because it requires a diverse of directors, and then it also requires different writers from different background. So I do believe that is a good opportunity. And also it requires different type of actors to do recurring roles and guest stars. But again, it just comes down to the content that they're putting out. If they'll be willing to take the next step and be really inclusive. So far, HBO been, they all right. They all right. I do think they can do more. And again, do stories that are unapologetically telling our stories. But that's just my opinion.
Let me ask you this though: if we are, forging the way for controlling our own narrative, telling our own stories, why do we need HBO?
I feel like there's a delay.
There is. Yeah, we're having a little bit of a hard time there with you there. Are you on your, well, let me do this. Can you, we're having a little bit of a hard time,
why do we
Amadou.
need HBO? That is extremely true. And that's why you've been able to you see over the past few years, you have UMC, the Urban Movie Channel. You have let me try log in.
Yeah. Why don't you go back out and then come back in? We'll be here waiting on you. Okay. All right, y'all have Amadou Lee. He's on with us trying to get our situations. Look like he's operating off of his phone, huh? That's we try to do a little bit of we have a little procedure there, but our digital devices are well able to handle what we need to have them handle, and let's see if he comes back in. It should be okay. So we can continue our fascinating discussion. And that's what's up. Okay, look like he's back. There he is.
Hi.
Yeah, okay, that seems to be better. We'll see what happens here. You were talking about the question was, why do we need HBO? Yeah, we're still experiencing a delay. This is not usual.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I'm trying to move.
Mm.
Oh, man. Okay, but you can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it's the image that's
Okay. All right. Well, let's continue on.
okay. I'm gonna try to
So
log in.
that yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. So we were talking about HBO. Just go ahead and finish your point about why do we need them?
Yes.
Mm. Okay. Well, I don't know. It looks like we lost him, but there it is. You know what? It's okay, y'all. We giving it a shot, and let's see if he comes back on, and we could try to, continue the discussion, and at least let's get into where we could talk about his upcoming trip to Senegal. And as as we talk about travel, we're looking at continuing our sojourns over to the continent, South Africa. We've been talking a lot to our friends over there about, what we will do once the COVID restrictions are lifted. We've been talking to the Honorary Council of the Republic of Senegal about going to Senegal, West Africa. We've been talking to Dr. Gloria is on watching with us today. We've been talking about going over there to Ghana with Dr. Gloria Willingham. And, so we want to get back into, we are passport ready, as they say, and getting back to traveling over to Senegal. Brother Amadou, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And so listen, this is what we're going to do is let's just go right ahead and fast forward into, tell the people about your trip that you're organizing going over to Senegal. And, if they wanted to go, what that looks like. But let's talk about why you created your trip and what you hope to expose our people to.
I pretty much wanted to, because so many times I meet people and then they tell me they want to go to Africa, but sometimes people do not know where to start, which makes sense. And I just, and that's what. Can you hear me? Is this
I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
okay? So and pretty much, I also see that there is a unspoken division between Africans and African American, and I believe that it doesn't serve none of us. And I feel like it's something that our ancestors wouldn't be proud to see. I feel like it's just, we are meant to unite because uh, the the only way that we can achieve what we all want to achieve, is if the family comes together. So that's part of the reason why I decided that I would like to see what I can do on my end,
Mm-hmm.
to change things.
All right. Well, that's you're absolutely right. And that's central to our mission around here at Dream Creator Studio, Hannibal Media Group. We are always all about dispelling the myths about Africa. And we want to we're building bridges of music, arts, and culture between Africa and African Americans. And so this is definitely at the center of what we're about around here. So I'm so happy to have met you, and so happy that we are working it out, try to create these bridges, communicating, learning, because it is essential for our being that we have that, that we have that connection. Now, all right. So you're going to go to Senegal and tell the people a little bit about that. I mean, a lot of us are from there. Our folks, we're from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to necessarily wait for anybody to take you to Africa, because you, as the same rights Africans have in there, is the same rights you have. Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a bit.
Um,
It's a bit of a delay, and we're
okay.
gonna just get to the.
So can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Wi-Fi. I apologize about that. So what I'm saying is, it's one of those things where I believe that it can not only make our, in this particular trip, we're gonna go from December to January, and my goal is for us to visit as many places as we can. One of the places that we look forward to visiting is Gorée Island, which the place where they had enslaved Africans. And there's just a lot of spirits there, even when you go by and visit. And I just have a feeling that it's something that is I can recognizing the roots and recognizing the culture. And these are things that we look forward getting into, as far as drum rituals, as far as, and another thing too is that Senegal just opened the largest Black civilization museum, and I'm excited about that too, and for our people to visit that, because usually, we tend to go to Europe or all these different countries, but I went to Paris to the Louvre Museum, and I was so disappointed of the Black arts or African arts that they had over there. I felt like it was they had, some of the inventors had no names in them. I, I felt like it was just something that they took from the street. Say, you know what, we're just gonna put it here, or something that I felt like they didn't put a lot of effort into it. So it excites me that Senegal decided to open such museum to recognize our people, because we are worth that.
All right. So so you guys are leaving when departing for Senegal when? Or
You know what I'm saying? Can you hear me?
no, can't hear you. So listen, this is what we'll do. So Amadou, give
Oh,
me. Is there a website or a email address that I can share
so
with the
so
people?
if you are interested joining this trip, we're leaving December 26th. This December 26th, from JFK to Senegal, and then we're coming back on January 8th. So we are excited.
Mhm. All right.
We are excited about that.
How do they get a hold of you
You,
if they want to tap into
yeah,
that real quick? Mhm.
yeah, just Instagram, at Travel with Amadou. So Amadou, the spelling of it is AMAD as in David OU. So at Instagram, Travel with Amadou, or you can send an email, Amadou, AMADOULY, the numerical 2 at gmail.com. So I'll be more than happy to give you any information.
All right, we're putting those in the chat for y'all, and
So it'll be fun. And then also other places we look forward going to. There's this amazing place in Senegal called the Fathala, and of course, you can't go to Africa without seeing our beautiful animals in the safari. So we look forward doing that as well. Definitely having a lot of fun, but also getting into the Senegalese culture, really understand. That's the main goal. So again, I'm going to repeat the best way to contact me: Instagram, via Instagram, at travel with, or feel free to email me.
All right, that's what's up, brother. Man, thank you so much for coming on with Coffee Conversations with Greg J. We're gonna have you come back on and iron out some of these little technical difficulties. But when you return, I'm gonna expect you to come on Coffee Conversations with pictures and video and share with us the beautiful sights and sounds that you have experienced as you travel to the Republic of Senegal. Is that all right? Yep. Okay. So that's what I said. All right, y'all. Well, look, there it is. We're gonna get out of here. Get on.
Services
yeah.
It's all right. But listen, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. So listen, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and get out, y'all. Listen, think about your travel. Think about getting to your continent. That's certainly for sure. Got to get over there. So beautiful. And you know what? To be honest with you, you'd be surprised. Sometimes I think of what you'll see. We definitely want you to experience the beauty, the majesty of the continent of Africa. And Amadou's got a trip leaving in a couple of weeks. He's going out there to Senegal, taking a group there. We here have a legacy of traveling over to South Africa. We're expanding up into Kenya. We're going to be going over. We're hoping to go to Senegal also, but we're already talking to our people who help us arrange the trips. And, prayerfully, we'll be in a state of readiness as the COVID-19 pandemic, with vaccines and all of that. Hopefully the numbers will be down where we can travel safely, and we'll be going over to South Africa for the jazz festivals, for the experiences. We're looking forward to that. We're working hard and furious right now, keeping our eye on everything so that we can begin to create the groups once again and go on over to Mother Africa. We're talking about going to South Africa for jazz festivals in September. We're talking about going to Senegal later part of next year on an arts mission. And we're talking about going up into Kenya and, just having a business exchange. So you know what it is. We're all about building bridges of music, arts, and culture. So sorry for all the technical difficulties, but you know what? We'll be back on Thursday, and prayerfully we will not have that problem. We'll be able to get our folks to plug in and have the proper strong connections so that we can do this new technology, continue this dialogue on Coffee Conversations with Greg J. Yeah, that's what's up, my brothers and sisters. Always remember, love one another. Love one another. Love one another. Peace and blessings.